Hi, I'm Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, and you are watching Much Music with me. You guys have made it really difficult for me because I've said how much I love Argentina, and now whenever I go anywhere else, everyone says, "We're so much better than Argentina. We sing louder. We love you more." And it's like, okay, show me. One thing I've got to say is that the Megadeth Aguante line that was created, it's followed us around the world now. I mean, it's a little weird when you're in Australia and they're going, Megadeth, Aguante Megadeth, you know, but, you know, they try, and I think it's great to be part of that. Well, it's the Rust in Peace 20th anniversary, and we're supporting the Endgame record, so we are honoring Rust in Peace in the middle of the show. You know, we do several songs to start, and then we play Rust in Peace, and then we finish off with several more songs. And you know, when we have a support band, we play 90 minutes. When we play by ourselves, it's a little longer. I think a little, like, an hour and 45 minutes is okay. When you get around 2 hours, it tends to kind of be like, all right, everybody's exhausted out there, so, you know, and you start to kind of question what is leaving the audience wanting more. The problem with Argentina is we could play for 3 hours and they'd still want more. And, you know, we would do it if physically I could, but I have limitations with my voice. I'm a guitar player. I'm not a singer. I sing because we couldn't find somebody that we liked to sing for the band. But, you know, if I just played, certainly we could play forever. And recording Endgame was really, really exciting for us. It just kind of came together, and, you know, going into the studio and working on these songs, I could feel when we were making these songs that something good was happening. As far as the critics are concerned, you know, they're all entitled to their opinion. We all have one, and if their opinion didn't matter, neither would mine. But I think that there's a lot of people out there that have personally targeted me because they don't like what I've said in the past, and, you know, they're being prejudiced to this new record or this period in my life. I had a pretty big change back in 2001. It was actually the beginning of 2002, and I'm a different person than I was when I first started writing music. The stuff that made me write back then was a lot of anger and a lot of desire to get revenge, and now it's like, man, I've already had my best revenge. It was success. People chasing us down the streets, or they're camped out in Costa Rica 18 days before we play in front of the venue waiting for us to get there. You know, this is the phenomenon that is Megadeth, and I know that it's not about the band, it's not about me as a guitar player, it's more about, you know, what God's put me here on earth for, and how, like the example with David Ellefson, the exercise of forgiveness, because, you know, what happened between us was very, very terrible, and it was only God that could change my heart to forgive him and to ask him to come back. I'm the last person on earth that thought that he would be in Megadeth, and he's the second to the last person on earth that thought he'd be back in Megadeth. And when we first played, I looked over at him, and he looked at me, and he just smiled, and it was like he'd never left. Playing for these fans every day, some of them, it's life-changing for them. I know bands have the power to change people's lives. Hopefully now how I'm living my life, how I can still play the stuff back then with the same kind of fire that we did when we wrote Rust in Peace. Endgame's a lot like Rust in Peace. It is. It's because I'm playing guitar again, and I'm not worried about writing a lot of melodies. I'm writing guitar playing, so I set the guitar down and I have to go like this with my hands, and I wasn't having that feeling on some of the last records. But right now, the stuff we're creating for the follow-up to Endgame, I think, is even more exciting than what you've heard on this new record. well, one thing they would need to play in Megadeth is me having fired somebody, and that's not going to happen. So here we are again. We're like kids playing music that we love to people that we love, and they love us.